Hi, this is Bill here. I wanted to share with all of you a new project I've started. I call it the Ohio Traction Project. It's an HO scale small traction layout. My criteria for the layout are that I want to have a continuous running option when I operate. I'd like to have some street running. I want to include a car barn, an interchange with a steam railroad, an interurban station, and I'd like to power the interurban car or cars that I'll have from overhead wires, just like they do in real life. This is an HO scale project. So for this project, what I've started with is a 5x2 base module, which I had put together for another project, never ended up using for that. I have extended the width by 6 inches, so it's now 5 by 2.5 feet. I wanted that extra space to fit the track arrangement and operation that I desired. I recently purchased a used brass Interurban car. It is probably several decades old. It still needs to be painted. It isn't the smoothest running car, but it's pretty nice, and I got it for like $75 before tax and shipping and so forth. So it was a good deal, I think, to get started in traction. Now I'm going to, in the next slide, let you take a look at a drawing, a diagram of the track layout. But before I do that, I want to mention that you might notice as you start looking at the track diagram that it looks a lot like the Odell County Traction Project that was published in Model Railroader magazine in the late 1980s. And those series are written by Bruce Gaiman, who made that layout and shared with everyone how he did that. So what you'll see is, in a way, kind of a simplified version of the Odell County Traction Project, which I really admire. So this is the plan for the small layout, 5 by 2.5 feet. The track itself was drawn primarily on the AnyRail software program, and then I've drawn the rest of this by hand. Over on the left, you'll see the steam railroad interchange, and then in yellow, you'll see where I plan to have street running. So the Interurban will come along the street, loop around the car barn, go through a business district, a lot of that street running, and then it will, on the right side here, kind of go into a suburban area under a bridge, and it will have a return loop. I want to have continuous running because I am going to power the traction car, the Interurban car, with the overhead wire with a trolley pole. And every time you switch directions with that, you have to turn the pole around. So going back and forth is not very easy like it would be with a diesel or a steam locomotive. So I want to be able to do a lot of continuous running. I don't plan on using this for a lot of switching and so forth. It's more just to kind of build a small traction layout and enjoy it running continuously. Here's the car barn, plan for it to come in off the street and have a 2-track car barn with a 3rd track to the side of it for maintenance away equipment or extra track, whatever. Over here you see to the right of the business district a kind of a suburban district. I plan on having a few houses here with lots. Then you start seeing a field and some trees over here, and on the far right side you'll see that a bridge and embankment will cut diagonally across that corner of the layout, and that's to really give this return loop area a place to kind of go behind and hide, to split the scene, to be a view block from the rest of the layout, and kind of be isolated a little bit so it can loop around there and come back. And again, that part of the layout will be quite a bit suburban or rural in makeup. I can also see proposed posts where I plan to have the wire strung up for overhead operation. Over the streets, I plan on having poles on either side so I can string the support wires across the street, so you don't have the posts obviously in the middle of the street where cars have to run and so forth. But then in some places, for example, along the steam railroad interchange, or over here as we get into kind of the suburban rural area, I can go to just single arm poles for a lot of that. Here's an actual image of an interurban track that exists in a nearby town in Groveport, Ohio. It's part of the old Scioto Valley Traction Company that closed down many years ago. But this track in the street in this town, they've just kind of kept, I think, for historical purposes. So this is similar to what I am trying to achieve in the street running portion of my own small layout. This is the Interurban car that I purchased online not too long ago. Of course, it'll have to be painted, windows will have to be added, etc. But I got it for a really good price. So this is the module I've been working on. As you can see on the left, I added 6 inches to bring it to 2.5 feet wide. And this is just where on the right side, where I've placed some construction adhesive prior to placing Homosote over top of the entire module. And here it is with the Homosote layer glued on top, and it's just sitting on a couple of chairs here right now. I want the Homosote so it has that sound deadening effect, and so I can maybe have some quieter running. So that's kind of my progress right now. I'll plan on posting some videos as I move along. If you want to follow, this is my first traction project. I've never strung traction wire before or anything like that, so it'll be a learning experience. Thanks for watching.